Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Tanvi Taneja with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi gives a clarion call to create global water action agenda and ban single-use plastic at the 14th Conference of Parties of UN Convention. India to raise target of restoring degraded land to 26 million hectares by 2030, says Prime Minister. 100 days report card of the government presented by several union ministers across the country. Har Ghar Jal by 2024 is our commitment, says Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. President Ramnath Kovind reaches Iceland in the first leg of his three-nation tour to hold talks with Iceland's president. Home Minister Amit Shah chairs Northeast Democratic Alliance meet in Guwahati. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal beats Daniil Medvedev in the US Open final to bag his 19th Grand Slam title. India will raise the target of restoring land with degraded status from 21 million hectares to 26 million by 2030. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this while addressing the 14th Conference of Parties COP14 of the UN Convention to Combat Desertification UNCCD in Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh today. The Prime Minister said that desertification affects over two-thirds of the countries of the world. He said, along with addressing the degraded lands, we also need to address water scarcity.
From this forum, I would like to announce that India would raise its ambition of the total area that would be restored from its land degradation status from 21 million hectares to 26 million hectares between now and 2030.
The Prime Minister said augmenting water supply, enhancing water recharge and retaining moisture in the soil are all parts of a holistic land and water strategy. In his speech, Mr. Modi proposed initiatives for greater South-South cooperation in addressing issues of climate change, biodiversity and land degradation. He called upon the leadership of UNCCD to conceive a global water action agenda which is central to the land degradation neutrality strategy.
Augmenting water supply, enhancing water recharge, slowing down water runoff and retaining moisture in the soil are all parts of a holistic land and water strategy.
Reiterating his clarion call to ban single-use plastic, the Prime Minister said, apart from having adverse health implications, plastic renders lands unfit for agriculture.
We are committed to development of environment-friendly substitutes and also an efficient plastic collection and disposal method. I believe the time has come for even the world to say goodbye to single-use plastic.
The Prime Minister said the country has increased its tree and forest cover by 0.8 million hectares between 2015 to 2017. He said last week funds amounting to nearly $6 billion have been released to state governments in lieu of such diversion for development of forest lands. The Prime Minister also spoke about initiatives like per drop more crop, saying the country is focusing on zero-budget natural farming. India is hosting the global gathering for COP14 in Greater Noida, which started on the 2nd of this month. The Prime Minister said this reflects our commitments to addressing the concerns of the Rio Convention of 1992. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, acknowledged and appreciated the Government of India and Prime Minister's initiatives taken in favour of the environment. Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina J. Mohammed, stressed on the urgency of upscaling the efforts to reach land degradation neutrality by 2030. The Executive Secretary of UN Convention to Combat Desertification, Ibrahim Thiaw, emphasized on how Sustainable Development Goal 15 Land for Life is achievable if all nations work together without inequalities and insecurities. Addressing the conference earlier today, Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said that combating desertification has to be a national endeavour.
Green cover is rising in India. We have 24%, but in last 5 years, we have increased by nearly 15,000 square kilometers, and we are inching towards our target of having 33% cover.
The National Democratic Alliance government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken many historic and path-breaking initiatives in the first 100 days of its second term. Several union ministers are presenting their report cards on 100 days of the government by holding media interactions in different cities across the country starting today. Addressing a press conference in Hyderabad today, Minister for Power, Renewable Energy and Skill Development Singh said 70,000 crore rupees will be released to public sector banks to facilitate them to lend more loans to the needy.
We've also infused 70,000 crores into the bank so that the capacity for lending will multiply. And now they are in a position to lend about 5 lakh crores. So we expect more investment coming in.
Briefing media at Raipur, Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment Thawar Chand Gehlot said, through the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana and several other schemes, the government tried to make the small businessman owner of their enterprises. As a result, many employment opportunities have been created in the country.
लोगों को ज्यादा लगाने का अवसर मिला है। प्रधानमंत्री मुद्रा योजना में, प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना में, वेंचर कैपिटल फंड योजना में और अनेक योजनाओं में कारोबारियों को लोन देकर के मालिक बनाने का काम किया है।
Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Shekhawat, while addressing media in Jaipur, said the government is working to provide drinking water to all households by 2024 and the government is committed to the scheme Har Ghar Jal.
सरकार ने सुनिश्चित किया है कि 2024 तक हम देश के प्रत्येक घर तक पीने का पानी पहुंचाने में कामयाबी प्राप्त करेंगे। इस लक्ष्य के साथ में हमने तेजी से काम करना प्रारंभ किया है। हर घर जल।
In Shimla, Minister of State for Finance and Corporate Affairs Anurag Thakur said that Articles 370 and 35A were abrogated despite the NDA government not having majority in the upper house of parliament. Similarly, the Modi government provided justice to Muslim women by making a law to hold triple talaq as illegal. Addressing a press conference in Bhubaneswar, Minister of State for Shipping and Chemicals Mansukh Mandaviya said the government has taken the step to invest 100 lakh crore rupees to develop infrastructure within a span of 5 years. Jammu and Kashmir Governor Satyapal Malik paid tribute to the sacrifices made by Hazrat Imam Hussain and other martyrs of Karbala. In a message on the eve of Ashure Muharram, the governor said that Hazrat Imam Hussain and his companions sacrificed their lives for upholding the high values of truth, justice and righteousness. Meanwhile, the restrictions under Section 144 have been eased out in most areas in Srinagar and elsewhere in Kashmir Valley, barring a few police stations. An official spokesperson said that in view of the imposition of Section 144 CRPC and in order to avoid any loss to life and property, the government has decided that no procession shall be allowed in district Srinagar on the occasion of Muharram tomorrow. The state government had earlier said that no procession will be allowed on 8th, 9th and the 10th of this month. The administration in a phased manner has already lifted restrictions under Section 144 in 92 police station areas out of 105 across Kashmir Valley. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. President Ramnath Kovind reached Iceland today as part of his 3-nation tour. During his stay in the Nordic island nation, the President will hold bilateral meeting with Icelandic President where memorandums will be signed to further the cooperation between the two countries. The President will also deliver a lecture at the University of Iceland with a focus on environmental issues. He will be meeting a business delegation and interact with the Indian community as part of the tour. More from our correspondent.
India-Iceland bilateral relations have strengthened in recent years. It was the first country to support India for a permanent seat in the UN Security Council. The President's visit is hence considered important to further the relationship between the two countries. After arriving at Iceland, the President will meet the Indian CEOs who form part of the business delegation. Thereafter, the President and First Lady will attend a reception hosted by the Indian community in Iceland. Tomorrow, Indian President will meet the President of Iceland and hold bilateral meetings. Sudhindra, AIR News, Iceland.
Union Home Minister and BJP President Amit Shah has said that Northeast Democratic Alliance, NEDA, was set up to take NDA to the grassroots level. He was addressing the fourth conclave of the alliance in Guwahati.
असम के चुनाव के बाद जब नेडा का एक विचार आया, मैंने साथियों से चर्चा की और साथियों को भी लगा कि अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट के अंदर एनडीओ को नीचे तक पहुंचाना है, हर तहसील हर गांव तक पहुंचाना है, तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट का एक डेमोक्रेटिक अलायंस नेडा की जरूरत पड़ेगी.
Mr. Shah said today that entire Northeast has become free from the rule of Congress. He said that Congress rule in Northeast did not do any development work. Minister for Northeast, Dr. Gajendra Singh, hoped that the Northeast would be the most visible part of India. He thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah for uplifting the life of the people of Northeast. Assam Chief Minister Sabranand Sonowal said that the Northeast Democratic Alliance has united the Northeast region. Under Narendra Modi, the entire Northeast is making tremendous progress. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar today visited an innovation exhibition in Singapore in which around 60 startups from India are participating. He was accompanied by his Singaporean counterpart Vivian Balakrishnan to the exhibition. Mr. Jaishankar is in Singapore on a visit from September 6th to 10th. Pakistan is facing the heat for its role in terror financing and money laundering. The Asia-Pacific Group, the regional affiliate of the FATF, will evaluate Pakistan's compliance on its 27-point action plan in Bangkok today. The exercise is a prelude to Pakistan's final review by the FATF. The plenary and the working group meetings of the task force is scheduled for October 13th to 18th in Paris. The global watchdog FATF has already put it on notice in its grey list. British Airways BA has said it has been forced to cancel almost all its UK flights on the first day of a 2-day strike by pilots. BA pilots began a 48-hour strike today in an ongoing dispute over pay and conditions. It led to grounding most of the airline's flights and disrupting thousands of travellers' plans in unprecedented industrial action. In business news, benchmark's domestic equity today logged marginal gains in afternoon trade. Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange was up 62 points to trade at 37,044. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also added 20 points to trade at 10,966. In sports news, Rafael Nadal has won the US Open men's singles, beating Daniil Medvedev this morning. This is his 4th US Open title and 19th Grand Slam trophy. His win did not come easily, even though Nadal took the first 2 sets and was ahead by a break at 3-2 in the third. Medvedev came back by shifting styles and breaking Nadal in the last game of each of the next 2 sets to force a 5th. The 33-year-old Spanish left-hander chased his 19th career Grand Slam singles title, one shy of Roger Federer's all-time men's record in his 27th Slam final. And now, before we end the bulletin, here are the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi gives a clarion call to create global water action agenda and ban single-use plastic at 14th Conference of Parties of UN Convention. India to raise target of restoring degraded land to 26 million hectares by 2030, says Prime Minister. 100 days report card of the government presented by several union ministers across the country. Har Ghar Jal by 2024 is our commitment, says Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. President Ramnath Kovind reaches Iceland in the first leg of his 3-nation tour to hold talks with Iceland's president. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal beats Daniil Medvedev in the US Open final to bag his 19th Grand Slam title. And with that, we end the midday news.